That's right, your current operating system, statistically likely, has officially ended support from Microsoft. So either upgrade to Windows 11 and upgrade your PC spending more money, or go off and switch to Linux. So let's take a trip down memory lane. Go to 2015, a magical time where YouTube dominated social media, Vine was the hottest new app, and you probably stalked your crush on Facebook. But first, let me tell you about the sponsor of this video, AI Pi. So we all know Jarvis, right? Wouldn't it be cool to have Jarvis in real life? Technically, this should be possible since we do have the technology like ChatGPT. This is where the AI Pi comes in. This is basically your AI agent that you can speak to. You can fully customize the personality of your AI agent. You can select the model you want it to be based on, like Gemini, Amazon Bedrock, but for this one, we're gonna go with ChatGPT 4.1. Or choose the timbre of your character, like confident or cheerful. Now, the two breakthrough features are voice recognition and sound reproduction. Voice print recognition is simply recognizing who you are based on your voice. But we are going to use sound reproduction. Find a nice, clean clip of Jarvis talking and input it into the website to make our agent sound exactly like him. Keep watching to find out more. So Windows 10 entered a landscape where it was bound to win. Cause let me explain to you the absolute shit show before then. So before Windows 10, there was Windows 8. Now we all know the Microsoft curse. A good operating system is almost always followed by the worst abomination known to humankind. Windows 7 was beloved, beautiful, magnificent even. And then Windows 8 was... So Microsoft in the early 2010s somehow got in their heads that tablets were the future. The iPad was hot, touchscreens were everywhere. So let's make a touch-based operating system for our computers with keyboard and mice. That obviously failed. Spectacularly. There was immediate outrage. It was meme. And Microsoft quickly course-corrected with Windows 8.1, but the damage was done. Then Windows 10 decided to take a different approach, a more collaborative approach. There was the Windows Insider program, where you, the people, could bug test and suggest improvements to Windows 10, and Microsoft would actually listen. On July 29, 2015, Windows 10 was officially launched. That was 10 years ago, can you believe that? Now, I'm gonna tell you some things that are gonna make you realize why people are so mad at Windows 11 and Microsoft. So Windows 10, if you weren't around at the time, was really marketed as the last version of Windows. Nobody officially really said it. Well, this guy from Microsoft said it, but no one really from marketing said it. But that was the sentiment. First of all, they skipped 9 and jumped straight to 10. They really wanted to name it Windows 1, like Xbox One, but Windows 1 already exists, so they settled for a nice, round, final Windows 10. Secondly, they kept saying that Windows 10 is going to perpetually get updates, which in fairness, it did get for a while. But it really made you think, oh, I'm never gonna have to pay for the next version of Windows, cause it's never coming. And speaking of paying, everyone who had Windows 7 and above were given free upgrades to Windows 10. That was actually one of the most consumer-friendly moves I've seen from Microsoft. That was kinda crazy, because Microsoft used to charge hundreds of dollars just for the upgrades. All of this combined with the then new CEO Satya Nadella focusing on cloud and other stuff really made you think that Microsoft really wasn't trying to milk Windows for money anymore. You're wrong, corporates are always trying to milk anything for money. But for a while, it really did seem that way. Like Windows 10 from 2015 and Windows 10 from 2022 are really not the same operating system. They don't look the same, they've added so many new features and overhauled so many things. And this was completely for free, by the way. On top of that, Windows 10 basically ran on anything. It even had a 32-bit version. It really was a magical time where Windows was everything you wanted it to be. But it wasn't to last. In 2021, Microsoft broke their promise and released Windows 11. I mean, they were real careful to never really fully say that Windows 10 is the last version of Windows. It's just that this guy from Microsoft said it and they implied it in the marketing, PR, and the name. On top of that, Windows 11 has ridiculous system requirements. Like my laptop from 2017 couldn't run Windows 11 in 2021. It was completely arbitrary since you can bypass the system requirements pretty easily. But yeah, officially, most computers were completely toast. And what were you getting for this unreachable upgrade that was $110? Bloatware. Literally more bloatware. I've run extensive tests on this channel, and by far, Windows 10 really outperforms Windows 11 most of the time. And it is really because of how much data collection Microsoft does. That was to be expected though. If Windows 10 was a hit, Windows 11 was bound to be a flop. Maybe Windows 12 will be a hit again? But before we continue, let me tell you more about the AI Pi Lite. So I got the device and its battery, which is separate, put it together, which it just snaps into place, and turned it on. Now, this is a completely simple device to carry around around. So how do you connect your AI to it? Well, you connect to its hotspot, select your Wi-Fi network, and now it'll generate a special code. You can go to xdc.aipi.com, log into your account, and link your device. So for example, I could ask it something simple like, what is the square root of 256?
The square root of 256 is 16. I always say, math doesn't lie, but sometimes it sure surprises you.
Or something like, is C an object-oriented programming language?
No, C is not an object-oriented programming language.
You can start chatting with AI Pi Lite for completely free, but if you want premium AI models, 35 plus AI agents, multi-device connections, and customized characters, you can subscribe to their premium subscription today. Check out the link in my description for more information, and thank you to AI Pi for sponsoring this video. What does this end of support really mean? Well, first of all, it isn't really surprising. Most Windows OSs only have about a 10-year lifespan. Windows XP ended mainstream support in 2009, Windows 7 in 2020, so it makes sense that Windows 10 would end support in 2025. Yes guys, it's already been 10 years. The last major feature update we got was 22H2 in 2022, and since then they haven't been actively developing for Windows 10. So what does that really mean? Well, it means that you will no longer receive software updates for Windows 10. That doesn't sound like a problem. Oh, but it is. See, your computer, especially if it is Windows, has a lot of people actively looking for exploits in the system. I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. Remember in 2017 when the WannaCry virus was everywhere? If you don't remember, this virus just appeared on your computer, even if you didn't open any suspicious emails or apps, deleted all your personal data, and asked you to send $300 worth of Bitcoin to an address to get your data back. So essentially, all your personal data was completely lost, because even if you paid, you weren't gonna get your data back. The craziest part? Microsoft released a patch just before the virus was unleashed upon the world, specifically patching the vulnerability that the virus used in Windows. Of course, people don't update their computers, and this is why Microsoft just randomly starts installing updates every time you restart your computer. But yeah, updates are like insurance. Most of the time, you're completely fine. But if your luck goes bad, boy will you lose everything. If you use like Windows XP today and connect it to the internet, apparently it's just a matter of time before it gets hacked. But yeah, technically it doesn't mean that your computer just becomes useless after the end of support date. But if someone had discovered a vulnerability, which in the case of the WannaCry virus, the NSA had secretly discovered this vulnerability and kept it a secret for years, until North Korea ironically hacked them and stole the vulnerability from the NSA, which caused the NSA to report the vulnerability to Microsoft, and they patched it, but it was too late by then. You could technically lose everything. However, when something major like the WannaCry virus happens, Microsoft releases a patch anyways. Like in 2017, when they released a patch addressing the vulnerability that the WannaCry virus used for Windows XP, well after the end of support date. So the idea of, oh, using unsupported operating systems is unsafe is really just kind of Microsoft PR to make you upgrade. Just don't use really old Windows on a PC where you have personal stuff like banking and other accounts, cause there's a chance it might get hacked. But if there's a major vulnerability, Microsoft will probably give you a patch. So let's say you're on Windows 10 and it's no longer supported, and technically unsafe to use. What are your options? Well, if you were to listen to Microsoft, the official answer is upgrade to Windows 11. There's no free upgrades this time, just pay the $110, whatever, and if your PC isn't supported, then trash that PC, get a new PC, and then install Windows 11 on it. But let's say you're too stubborn to do that. Well, you could enroll in the Extended Security Updates program, or the ESU. You won't get any new features, but for one additional year, that is until October 13, 2026, you will get essential security updates if you pay $30. Nothing is free, my friend. For commercial use, that is large corporations, this support can be extended for 3 years. So that means that even if Microsoft doesn't provide you with the extended security updates after 2026, they technically do exist because they do have to provide them to the large corporations for the next 3 years. There are a few exceptions to this though. Apparently, if you use Windows Backup and sync your data to OneDrive, you get free extended security updates until 2026. Now, call me a conspiracy theorist, but is it because Microsoft gets to snoop through your data and learn more about you, which is why it's technically free? Probably not. Microsoft is really consumer friendly. And finally, if you're one of the 30 European countries in the European Economic Area, then you get it for free. Honestly, shout out to the EU, man. They fully bullied the Americans into doing what's right. Like, that's how we got USB-C on iPhones. But let's say you can't be bothered with this ESU stuff. Well, then just switch to another OS. Honestly, technology has slowed down so much that a PC from 2015 isn't really obsolete today. I built like the fastest PC from 2014 and it's still pretty usable today. You can either just install Windows 11 on it, bypassing the requirements, which technically does work, but it does slow down your computer. Not because Windows 11 is offering such a great experience, it's because that Windows 11 is collecting so much of your data that old computers really can't collect so much of your data and be really fast at the same time. You could install weird Windows 10 editions like Windows 10 LTSC, which by the way, super lightweight, great for gaming. LTSC is technically supported until 2027, so 2 more years. Or really, the best option at this point is just to switch to Linux. It runs most of your games sometimes better than Windows and it gives you full freedom. Or switch to a Mac. Those usually don't go obsolete, right? But yeah, that's pretty much what I mean by Windows 10 is dead. No more security updates, but if there's a major security problem, then Microsoft will probably patch it, so you'll probably be fine. But then there's also the problem of Windows 10 end support, then Google Chrome on Windows 10 end support, then Premiere Pro will stop supporting Windows 10, you get the point. It's also assigned to third parties like, hey, stop making stuff for Windows 10. So farewell Windows 10. And you guys on Windows 10, you probably should upgrade. Or switch. I don't know, I don't care, I don't work for Microsoft, do whatever you want. Also guys, if you want to buy this baller shirt I'm wearing, it's probably down there below the video. Make sure to check it out. It's pretty sick, I like it.